Tim Cook has spoken. The forum, I guess it's an internal employee forum.
Apple Web.
I get he was doing a Q&A. And they asked him about last week's tech summit. Here's the question and answer. TechCrunch had this. They had a leak, I guess. Last week, you joined other tech leaders to meet President-elect Donald Trump. How important is it for Apple to engage with governments? That's a nice way to put it. He says, it's very important. Government can affect our ability to do what we do. This is Tim Cook writing. They can affect it in positive ways. They can affect it in not so positive ways. What we do is focus on the policies. Some of our key areas of focus are on privacy and security, education. They're on advocating for human rights for everyone and expanding the definition of human rights. They're on the environment and really combating climate change, something we do by running our business on 100% renewable energy. Remember this kind of the somber expression Tim had in this meeting. And, of course, creating jobs is a key part of what we do by giving people opportunity, not only with people that work directly for Apple, but the large number of people that are in our ecosystem. We're really proud that we've created 2 million jobs just in this country. A great percentage of those are app developers. Oh, so they don't actually work for you, Tim. This gives everyone the power to sell their work to the world, which is an unbelievable invention in and of itself. I think that's hard to say how many jobs were created by the app ecosystem. I mean, I'm sure jobs were created by the app ecosystem, but are those newly employed people? Probably not. We have other things that are more business-centric, like tax reform.
Yep.
Read that a little more carefully, and you'll know that he's asking for repatriation of all those billions Apple has in Ireland.
At lower than 30% tax rate.
Yeah, not at the full tax rate.
I think the rumor target is 10%.
Trump floated 10% during the campaign. And something we've long advocated for, a simple system. Tax system? And we like it. I don't know what that means.
I think a simple tax system, yeah.
Well, yeah, when the tax system is so complicated that Apple is saying we just can't hire people to do our taxes correctly.
Out. Yeah.
Well, I think their version of a simple system is one that doesn't tax them in place of purchase or place of sale and in place of headquarters.
Yeah.
Or place of business.
I don't. It's a simple system for corporations. It's much simpler for corporations than it is for individuals. And we'd like intellectual property reform to try to stop the people suing when they don't do anything as a company. Oh, I agree with that. Patent trolls. Does Apple? I guess Apple. Oh, yeah. Apple had a big settlement, right? $73 million or something.
Many times a year they're sued.
Well, it sounds like they're going to. The Supreme Court looks like it's going to review the idea of where these suits can happen, so that East Texas gets kind of
right. No more venue shopping.
The rocket docket.
Yeah. There's a large number of those issues, Tim goes on, and the way that you advance them is to engage. And this is what I was actually saying last week. This was after Mac Break Weekly. This happened on Wednesday. But I was we were talking about it on This Week in Google, and I said, these guys go because they have to go. It would be irresponsible not to go. Personally, I've never found being on the sideline, Tim says, a successful place to be. The way that you influence these issues is to be in the arena. You don't have to smile. You should write that in. You don't have to smile or be happy, but you got to go. You got to participate. So whether it's in this country or in the European Union or in China or South America, we engage. And we engage when we agree, and we engage when we disagree. I think it's very important to do that because you don't change things by just yelling. You change things by showing everyone why your way is the best. In many ways, it's a debate of ideas. We very much stand up for what we believe in. We think that's a key part of what Apple is about, and we'll continue to do so. That very diplomatic answer from Tim Cook.
Yeah. Dr. Doom of Latveria is a great leader, and we're going to look forward to talking to him about all the issues.
Yeah. But, you know, Tim, of all of the CEOs that were there, was clearly the least happy, at least the pictures I saw. And I was told on TWiT we had Stephen Kovac was on. He's with Business Insider, and he actually was waiting in the lobby at the Trump Tower to catch some of these CEOs after the fact. And he said a lot of them snuck in. You know, they went in the back way, so you didn't see them coming in. And then Tim, was it Tim? Tim Cook,
I think bolted for the elevator.
Bolted, literally ran. literally ran rather than be waylaid and say something. Wow. But that's also, I think, that they don't want to make a photo op. That, Kanye was very happy to put his arm around President-elect Trump and smile for the cameras. That was a photo op, and I think that the CEOs were not anxious to do that.
Well, they also
exactly.
Tweets.
I'm sorry.
And when you look at the where people were seated in relation to the president-elect, the faces that people would recognize and certainly the CEOs that have been written about the most were certainly placed as close to the president-elect as possible to make sure that they're in the photo. You don't necessarily want to have like the president of Oracle. That nobody has really written about, or the general public has not really seen in a long time. The obviously he's sitting down with that person that you see releasing the new iPhone. Don't you like the new iPhone? That's that sort of thing. And Tim Cook was right next to Peter Thiel, who was right next to the president-elect. So
yeah, he had a good seat at the table. More importantly, he was very near the kids.
Well, I think that regardless of what people think about,
and somebody in the chat room said, "Oh, the reason Tim was running is he had a taco bowl earlier from the Trump grill, and that's not nice." Go ahead. I'm sorry, Alex.
No, I was going to say that I think that what Trump has also kind of shown is that he's pretty malleable. So actually meeting with him might actually.
No, I think so. It often seems like his opinions are shaped by the last people he talked to. So get in there and talk to him. That was my point exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's not just because of the tax thing. It's also we're looking at big shifts in policy. We're already looking at a huge threat to net neutrality. And given that, and you really want a chance to say, here is, I don't know who has told you what, but here is why we think net neutrality is an incredibly important thing. And that if people from the cable industry have said that it's totally unfair and totally wrong and totally silly to have Netflix have the same bandwidth as our branded Hulu, then we should have a talk. I understood, but didn't that same article say that Tim, after the actual summit meeting, so to speak, had some private time to have a little bit of a chat?
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, interesting.
I think was the I don't know which. I think it was the Business Insider article, maybe.
Ah. So and I would hope so. And take those moments if you can get them, right. Who knows how often you're going to get the ear of the president, and
there's no point in not talking.
There's no point, and you can see all the issues that Apple cares a lot about.